Everyone, please welcome to the June 12th Village Board meeting. Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Charlene, welcome back again.
Again, yes.
Can you
Hopefully
take a roll call for us, please?
Thank you, I will. Okay, this evening we're starting with trustee Stapleton.
Here.
Janelle?
Here.
Dave Maher, absent right now. Ken McClafferty.
Here.
Kevin Shaughnessy, absent for now. Rick Snagowski.
Here.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, first up, we have the consent agenda, which will consist of the following. We have approval of minutes from the May 22nd Village Board meeting. We have approval of disbursements from May 23rd through June 12th. We have an ordinance O-22-23, amending the budget for fiscal year 2023 through 2024 for the Village of Lamont. We have a resolution R-40-23, accepting a 300 by 33 foot plat of dedication to the Village of Lamont for roadway purposes on 132nd Street as part of the 132nd Street Water Main and Sanitary Sewer Extension Project. We have a resolution R-41-23, approving a service provider contract with Municipal GIS Partners, Inc. for Geographic Information Systems Services. Lastly, we have a resolution R-42-23, authorizing the release of the letter of credit for the Notting Hill subdivision. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Kittredge, seconded by trustee Snagowski to approve the items on the consent agenda. Do we have any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Roll call, please.
Okay, again, we're starting with trustee Stapleton.
Yes.
Kittredge.
Yes.
Maher, absent. McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy, absent. Snagowski.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, motion approved. Next up, we have the mayor's mention. And again, for all those of you, that I think everyone was there, we celebrated our 150th anniversary on Friday, May 9th, of our incorporation during the legendary Lamont Week this past week. On June 9th, we were joined by Congressman Bill Foster, Senator John Curran, and former Mayor Rick Kwasniewski. We appreciate them taking the time to celebrate our special day with us. And we appreciate everyone that joined in the festivities, not only that day, but throughout the week. We had an awesome day on Saturday as well. I think we're probably close to, 2,000 or 3,000 people. It was a great day. I want to thank staff and, the 150th committee. We had a lot of volunteers. We appreciate all their hard work. They did an awesome job. The event on Friday, it was recorded by Community TV and will be available to you soon on YouTube, as well as being added to our TV community programming. Again, it was a big success and included many ethnic group dancers and ethnic food, along with our first ever pierogi eating contest. Jason, good job refereeing that. I heard if some of the people that ate, if they didn't get sick, some of the people watching it might have got sick. But it was
2 dozen potato and cheddar pierogi from Salinas Fresh Market.
and a lot of water.
Under 2 minutes, I think. So,
Yeah.
very impressive.
Don't try that unsupervised at home, right? Again, there's a lot of planning that goes into these events, and and it takes many people to pull it off. Again, thanks to all of our village departments, the Heritage Quarter Business Alliance, the Lamont Junior Women's Club, the Lamont Park District, the vendors and participants, and the volunteers. The support from our sponsors was tremendous. And thank you to all of our sponsors. we want to give a very special thank you to our Public Works Department, Ralph. As events like this truly cannot go on without their hard work before, during, and after any event. They put a lot of pride in making the town look great, which they do daily. So again, want to thank everyone. The tents were awesome. I think we probably had a couple dozen, right, Jason? And, you know, I know the face painting was a big hit with the kids, but what was really cool about it, I know we have a lot of soirees, a lot of concerts, but it was really cool to see all the families, a lot of kids, a lot of fun. I know it was a little hot at one time with the heat, but it was better than Sunday as far as weather-wise. But it's an awesome day, awesome week, and an awesome year to celebrate our birthday. So.
I'd say a standing ovation of Public Works. That event went off without a hitch for a first-time event. It was remarkable. The amount of guys down there, they're selfless. They work hard. They do whatever you ask. I mean, remarkable. Absolutely remarkable group of guys.
Awesome, awesome, yeah. I think, you know, Jess from NextMex, she lives there, she said, I went to bed, there was nothing, I wake up, there was nothing, and then like within a couple hours with all the hard work, it was set up, and I know afterwards you know, was sticking around talking to them, but they were working hard, they got it all cleaned up, so great job. Tell your crew, awesome job as usual, Ralph, appreciate it. All right. So we do have one, I guess, final piece to make this official. We read a proclamation. I'll read it again, and then we'll vote on it. Again, whereas Lamont was established in the year 1836, making it one of the oldest and most unique communities in northeastern Illinois, and whereas through the next several years, the I&M Canal was completed. The quarry industry grew steadily and dominated the economy of Lamont. Churches and buildings were built of Athens marble. The Chicago and Alton railroads were completed, and Lamont's population continued to grow. And whereas on the 9th day of June 1873, an election was held for the purposes of deciding whether the citizens residing within the Lamont territory should organize as a village under an act of legislature to provide for the incorporation of cities and villages. The results of such election was 243 for village organization and none against it. And whereas between 1890 and 1900, the Chicago Sanitary and Ship Canal was built and boosted Lamont's population, Lamont continued to prosper. Families claimed land and businesses opened and the town expanded. And whereas through hard work and cooperation, pioneers built this village and their spirit remains part of the fabric of Lamont. As we progress towards the future, we are committed to preserving our heritage while fostering our growth and embracing our strong community spirit in our village of faith. Now, therefore, I, Johnny Gofsky, and on behalf of the entire village board trustees and entire community, do hereby acknowledge and recognize June 9th, 2023, this past Friday, as the 150th anniversary of the incorporation of the village of Lamont, and encourage all citizens to celebrate this 150th anniversary milestone dated this 9th day of June 2023. So to make this official, can I please have a motion to accept this proclamation? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. It's official, it's in the book.
What's your motion? Already?
Do we need, okay.
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Thank you.
Ken, make a motion. We need a second.
Second.
Ron, there you go.
Okay.
All right. Let's see, next up, we have, that's it for the mayor's report. So Charlene,
Oh.
the clerk's report.
It's my turn, okay. The first ordinance we have this evening is O-21-23, and this is approving the assignment of real estate purchase sale agreements for the property located at the northwest corner of Route 83 and Main Street in the village of Lamont.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, motion by trustee Stapleton, seconded by trustee McClafferty. Anyone taking this? Or,
I can take it.
You got it, Mike? Okay.
go ahead, Mike.
If I could take all three together, I'll explain them. They're all
Perfect, go ahead,
A,
Mike.
B, and C. There's three parts to this. It seems like this has been ongoing since, for a long time, but we are now at the finish line. Gas and Wash, which is known as Lenny's Lamont, our real estate development. Just let me give you the overview. We'll be purchasing the property at Archer and Maine, the village-owned property. And then they'll be developing it into, there'll be 3 separate parcels that they'll be developing. The first parcel, kind of in the corner there, will be a fuel station along with a Dunkin' Donuts and another food entity within the building along with a car wash. And there'll be a mall, a strip mall, stores north of that. And then there'll be the final parcel will be a parcel for more of industrial or something of that nature, but that's not determined yet. But I think what we've been able to accomplish as a team is to make this deal a lot simpler. We have one buyer, that's Gas and Wash, Mr. Hackett's here, Lenny's Lamont Real Estate Development. The first ordinance is for an assignment of the contract. We had a different developer, as you recall, Bluestone, with different entity names. So what the first one does, it allows Bluestone to assign it over to Lenny's, the Gas and Wash, rather than write the whole thing up. That's A. B is a redevelopment agreement. As you recall, previously, Bluestone had negotiated, it's part of a TIF, they had negotiated $2.5 million in TIF incentive, the increment. We, through much back and forth, we're now down to 1.5 million in total incentive. $750,000 of that is for of a TIF increment. $750,000 of that is from sales tax incentive as defined in the redevelopment agreement. There was a previous redevelopment agreement between Bluestone and the village, but we wanted to make it simple, to make it specific to Gas and Wash Lenny's. So that's what B is. The third ordinance is for an amendment to the contract. We were able to negotiate, originally it was 2.7 million. Bluestone, Gas and Wash, through negotiations, we've come to an amount of $3.2 million that we'll be receiving at closing from Lenny's Lamont Real Estate Development. Those are the 3 parts. We've gone back and forth. We've kept you included on some of the details. I can go further into it, but I wanted to give you the overview, and I can answer any questions you may have.
You want the motion to be amended to add that?
I do.
To-
I do,
Okay,
Trustee
then-
Snagowski.
I would,
21s.
I make a motion to amend the original motion to include language to allow our village attorney and/or George as village manager to make
21.
minor changes to the language as may be required to finalize
Oh, I
these
see
documents.
that.
I'll second that.
Trustee Snagowski, we talked previous, there are a couple of changes that we've received from you, Mr. Mayor, and others that we needed to make minor changes. So we would, there's a motion on the floor to make the necessary amendments that either myself as counsel or the administrator see fit in order to get it signed.
Okay, so,
And that's on, you'll need a vote on that.
okay, so, I'm sorry, let's make it official, I think.
Yeah, Rick,
Yeah,
yeah, motion.
so Rick, motion to approve
Amend-
George or Mike, or George or Mike?
Yeah, the village
make
attorney
final-
and the village administrator make minor language changes as may be required to finalize any one of these 3 documents.
So motion by Snagowski, trustee
Okay,
Snagowski,
is he-
seconded by trustee McLafferty,
Now,
to
was
make any
that the
minor
second or the
changes.
third?
Minor language
No,
changes.
this is for minor language changes.
here?
This has nothing to do with,
Oh, okay, so,
that's assuming these are passed.
okay, so I'll put that down here.
For all 3, does that work
For
for
all
all?
three.
For all
Yeah,
three.
all 3, yes, thank you.
And then we'll vote on each one individually.
Correct.
Okay. And do we need a vote on
Yeah,
that?
you do. Yeah.
Okay, so need a vote for the minor language change that we just had 2 motions on. Charlene, you want to read
Sure, roll
the
call.
names off?
I don't have it down yet,
And
because I thought it was one of
Oh.
these. Go ahead.
Trustee Snagowski?
What do you need?
You to
Roll call.
repeat what
Roll
your
call.
motion.
Repeat the motion? Okay. was amending the original motion, so we can
Oh,
do
got
whatever
it.
you wanna say it.
Okay.
Which is to approve all three of these. Can we do them all at once, Mike, or do we need to do them individually?
I would do them separately only because they're
Okay.
separate. So
Okay, so then, I guess we'll have to do this each time.
You can put.
The
give
language will be the same.
yeah.
To amend the motion to add the village attorney or George as village administrator, to make minor language changes as may be required to finalize these individual documents, these three individual documents.
So Rick is making a motion, and who seconds it? Trustee
Yes.
McClafferty.
And that statement then will have to be added to each one of the motions as we go through them.
Okay. So, I guess before we do a roll call on the first one, just a couple of questions or clarifications, Mike.
Sure.
All right, so the incentive has a maximum, I forget the legal term in the contract, of $1.5 million. Is
That's
that
right.
correct?
Right.
And 750,000 is sales tax, which is the 1% only, excludes the non-home rule.
It does, right.
And once it hits 750, they're done.
We're capped.
Yep.
Right.
And every dollar that comes in, is it split 50/50? Or do they get the first
No, it's split 50/50.
50/50? So basically, the first 1.5 million of sales tax that comes in, they would get 750, we get 750.
right.
Okay. That's one point of clarification. The other point of clarification is the other 750,000 is TIF reimbursement, correct?
That's right. Based
So-
on the increase in the property tax, for every dollar the property tax goes, then we have a split of, I believe that's 50/50 as well,
50/50.
for the property tax. So for every dollar of increment that that we'll receive 50 cents, and they'll receive 50 cents, up to 750,000 for property tax only.
Okay. And, okay, and then once cumulatively, they hit 1.5 million, because this is where I'm going with this, is that the sales tax and the property tax are not gonna come in. The sales tax might far exceed the property tax.
Right.
So once they hit 750 on sales tax, assuming sales tax exceeds property tax, they're cut off at 750, and then they get their other 750 as property tax.
Which will be, it'll lag, it's a
Yeah,
lag,
okay, right.
Yeah, because property tax lags because it's in arrears.
Yeah, okay, got it. And again, these are monies that are zero today, they're being generated either by
And-
that entity.
Mayor, are you trying to identify that each of the 750 is its own,
Yeah, its own payment
silo,
plan,
let's call
yeah,
it,
yeah,
maxed out at 750?
right,
Right.
right.
They're not combined, so that if one were to come in at whatever, a higher amount, 800.
At a faster pace,
Correct.
yeah.
Right,
And-
they're different buckets.
Yeah, and because there was 4 million of recognized costs, it stops after 1.5 million.
That's right,
Okay.
absolutely.
And the other thing is, Darshan, and we need to think about this, is that, and I don't know if, I was trying to send this to George, I don't know if I made sense out of this, but we have, I believe, loans that are owed from this TIF entity to, I believe, the waterworks and yeah, infrastructure. My point is that TIF money can only be used inside the TIF, or such as payables that were created by creating the TIF. So my point is that I want to make sure that we utilize the ability to pay those bonds, not bonds, but payables. They're basically, I call them intercompany payables. It's,
The loans.
yeah, the loans, general fund to the water fund. Because if we start to use monies that come in for the sales price, and we pay off those loans, potentially, we could be getting TIF money coming in where we have nothing to spend, nothing to spend it on. So my point is let's try and think about, maybe that $3.2 million goes into the general fund so it could be used for the entire community. And we continue to have TIF increment paying off those loans. I know it's one and the same, it's the Village of Lamont, a taxpayer doesn't care, but I'm just thinking from an accounting standpoint that we think about that on the front end, if that makes sense. Yep, okay, cool. All right, that was my point on it. So, any
Now,
other
we
questions or
will,
comments?
subsidize their real estate tax if it goes over 300,000?
So if it go, thank you, that was a point that came up at the later in the negotiations. If there's anything over, the property tax is over $300,000 in a year, then that would be reimbursed out of the increment, not including the $750,000. Now, that only happens if, they only would receive that benefit, A, if it's over $300,000, and B, if they contest their taxes entirely. So, that's in the document.
And that would increase by 2% a year?
It will increase, every triennial, it increases 6%. So yes,
Okay.
it comes out to 2% a year.
And only for the fuel and auto wash portion.
Only for the, yes, thank you. It's only for that parcel A, it's not parcel. So if you have A closest to the corner, B will be the strip mall, for lack of a better description, and C will be probably the storage, or however we describe it, and more of an industrial. That does not include B or C, only A.
And Mike, we talk about this $1.5 million, and lack of a better term, maybe I use the term incentive.
Right.
But it really is $1.5 million that they are using to get this land in, a position to be built on.
Right.
We call it quote-unquote pad ready. It needs to be, flattened or leveled or, buildable. We have to relocate utilities, right? We have to extend utilities. And these costs have been estimated to be upwards of 1.5 million. So we could have done one of two things. As a village, we could have gone out and spent this money, gone out of pocket, got this land pad ready, and then put it up for sale.
Right.
In essence, what we're doing is we're saying, hey, we're out of the development business. We're giving you 1.5 million, but we're giving you 1.5 million as you get this land prepared and pad ready. And we only pay that money based on
TIF eligible,
reports.
under this TIF statute, they're only eligible expenses. You can't, so they're getting a pad ready, as you say, getting the, moving power, anything like that. Those are eligible expenses, and also, it's far over 1.5 million. It's come out to be $3 to $4 million. I did forget a couple things, can I?
Yeah.
It's only included it's not including the non-home rule. We'll get all the non-home rule. It's not including, gaming, because they would have qualified for gaming there. And it is not including, if the village decides to, institute a non-home rule fuel tax, which you're allowed to under statute and you have not. That's another 3 cents or 3%. So all of those potential revenue streams are not included. And he can't ask for anything more, he's here, but it does not ask for, or does not account for, sometimes they'll ask, because car washes use a lot of water, so they'll ask for reduced water, and we didn't allow that either, so.
And so again, we've been working on this, I think, at least 4 or 5 years, and we appreciate Gas and Wash stepping up. They have a great track record. They've proven to be successful. So again, we feel very comfortable working with them. And, again, this is, village-owned land that I think started to be purchased, I believe, probably at least 15 years ago or something in that range. Again, it was an eyesore. We had restaurants with Jello wrestling's what I heard. I never was there personally to see it, but that's what they said. I mean, it was very much a eyesore of the community. So this is something that, a lot of those businesses were knocked down, and it would be great to get this developed, so. And you,
I think it's
Go ahead, Rick.
also, one other question or topic to point out, that the increase from the 2.7 million to the 3.2 million, that 500,000 came into play because of the guarantee
That's-
cap of the 300,000. So
There is a-
they're willing to pay $500,000 more because the 300,000 cap came into play, which was the limit that was in the original contract.
That's correct. For them to be reassured that they could have that cap, board.
My point is, it's a
administration,
compromise,
yeah.
but it played out good for both of us. They have the cap now, and we received a higher purchase price.
That's right. And one other point I failed, Gas and Wash largely is developed in anywhere but Cook County, and this will be your first big one in Cook County. You had one in Stickney, I'm sorry? Sauk Trail, but yeah, so this is their largest in Cook County, and I think it's because of the fact that we were able to come to an agreement and negotiate well, so.
yeah. Any other questions?
Good. We wish us and you much success down there.
Yeah. Very much so. Okay, so for the first voting,
I think we still need to vote on the revised motion.
Yeah,
I think
it's
you-
out there, but not the vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, you vote after
we
each
don't have
one.
to vote on the amendment if we're gonna add it to each one
Right,
of the,
yeah, I agree with that, so.
so we just need a roll call.
for
on-
each one,
Yeah,
and the amendment will be part of each one, so
yeah,
That makes sense.
it's carried with that motion.
yeah. So, roll call. Go ahead.
Okay, Stapleton,
Yes.
Kittredge. Yes. Maher absent, McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy absent, Snagowski.
Yes.
Okay,
That was
motion,
on the first one, Shar.
yeah, motion approved.
Yes, I know. I
Right.
think, all right. Okay, and shall I go on with the
Yep.
second? Okay.
Second
The
one.
second one is an ordinance of O-22-23 and of the Village of Lamont, Cook, Will, and DuPage Counties, Illinois, approving the redevelopment agreement for the Illinois Route 83 and Main Street intersection redevelopment project in the Main and Archer Financing District.
So moved, including that same amendment.
Yep, so need,
Second.
Made the motion?
yep, need a motion with the revised
Okay.
language to allow the village administrator or attorney to make minor changes. Okay, need,
Okay.
motion by trustee Snagowski, seconded by trustee McClafferty. Any other questions, comments on this by the trustees? Roll call, please.
Okay, Stapleton,
Yes.
Kittredge. Yes. Maher absent, McCafferty,
Yes.
Shaughnessy absent, Snagowski.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved.
Okay, the third one is an ordinance, again, O-23-23. And this is approving the First Amendment for the property located at the northwest corner of Illinois Route 83 and Main Street in the Village of Lamont.
Okay, can we get a motion on this again to include the village administrator or village attorney to make minor language changes as needed?
So moved with the
No, I
motion.
think I read that. Okay.
Just one quick note, because this is called the First Amendment, I would suggest that amendment we're adding to each be called the Second Amendment,
Okay,
so we
Got it.
identify a
Okay.
difference.
okay, so motion McClafferty,
Second?
seconded by Snagowski. Just real quick, before we vote on this, can we just, for the record, just timing of the project and
I was just
expect?
gonna say that,
Yeah.
thank you.
Mr. Hack is here if you wish.
Yeah, can you just step up to the microphone, just state your name and,
Name is Mike Hackett. This is on. I think it is, right?
It is.
Name's Mike Hackett from Gas and Wash. In terms of timing for the project, I think we agreed that we would begin construction by July 15th of this year, that we'd be substantially completed by May of 2024, and then opening no later than June of 2024. If we can expedite it any quicker than that, we certainly will. It's a really tricky site to do. The biggest thing for us is the excavation and getting the site in a position to be able to build on it.
Sure. And of course, whatever we could do to assist, we will. I think we're collaborating and,
Oh, we
in
appreciate that.
goodwill, we're going to, if you win, we win and vice versa. So,
Sure, and we look forward to it. We appreciate it. We look forward to all your help and effort, and we will move quickly. As Mike well knows, we go pretty quick once we get going.
Awesome.
And that language was included in this contract. So it's,
Will you be telling the sign company to take the billboard down?
We haven't decided that yet. I mean, I know under the terms of the agreement, we have 30 days.
But we talked, and
Yeah.
it's something the village wants, and I know
Yeah.
you said you would cooperate with that.
Yeah, we would go along with it. We just haven't got to that point.
Sign company to take it down.
Yes.
There's 30 days. We've been in communication, and Mr. Hackett will hear from me again.
okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Ron, you
Sure.
go up there and just take this down. Put it on the sign.
Every day for 30 days.
I'll be out there with hacksaw.
Okay. Any other questions? Comments? Well, thanks a good and
Thank you.
good luck.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Roll call, please.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Kittredge,
Yes.
Maher absent, McClafferty,
Yes.
Shaughnessy absent, Snagowski.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved. All right, next up, thanks Charlene. Next up, we have the village attorney report. Mike, do you have anything for us?
I think I talked enough tonight.
Okay, all right. George, village administrator report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to reiterate what you had mentioned about the events over the weekend, Lamont 150, and, you know, just a great weekend, Friday, Saturday, and just reiterate all the thanks to all of staff, Public Works, police, and everyone here at Village Hall who volunteered for the event. There was a lot of heartfelt work that went into the events to make it truly uniquely Lamont. You know, I think that there was a lot of work from the committee and just everyone here at Village Hall, Public Works, Police, to make it, like I said, uniquely Lamont, with everything that we had planned for it. And it's not the last event. That was more of a kickoff. Please go to our webpage that was created for the event, lamont150.com. That'll be the largest event of the year, I promise. But there'll be little, you know, touch points through the various other events throughout the year that you're going to notice. I also will mention that Jason Berry had the worst luck of the year because we had about 15 days straight of 90-degree weather with no rain. And then for the historical walking tour, he had 60 degrees and rain. But we still had 35 brave souls who walked around downtown Lamont and looked at the 150-year-old buildings. We're not going to call them nerds, but
One of them too. I led the nerds.
so you did a great job. And I was also going to give you the floor here a little bit here in a second to make your little another announcement. But before I do that, I did want to make mention. I know we have our proclamation, but we also received proclamations from Cook County, the Cook County Board, the state of Illinois, and then the U.S. House of Representatives also delivered proclamations for us. So it's good to have friends at all levels of government who appreciate Lamont and recognize the achievement or the honor of being at 150. And I guess local governments can't go out of business, but so we were going to hit 150 anyway. But I think it means that you know, where you are as a town at 150 is kind of, and I think we're in a pretty good place. So I think it was an exciting weekend at 150, and we're going to keep it going. But Jason, I'm going to turn it over to you for the. I know everyone talks about the history book, and you know we have about 1,000 of them, right, Ralph? We're going to hand them out at some point still. But Jason, you want to? I'll turn it over to you and what's going to happen in November, right?
Yeah, so in collaboration with the Lamont Area Historical Society, myself and my co-author, Kevin Barron, produced an Images of America book for the Village of Lamont. And so those are photo books that chart the history of a community with little captions. You'll see it available in grocery stores, Walgreens and the like, and we'll have some here. So it's a fun way to go back and reminisce about Lamont, and we got to go through the archives of the Historical Society and pick some photos you've seen before and some photos that no one probably has ever seen from the archives. So we're looking forward to that. We found out just last week that from our publisher, Arcadia Press, that it'll be published on November 6th. So in time for your Christmas shopping
There you go.
needs. So we will have a book for 150. It was important to us, and especially George really led the way. He said, I want a book for 150. So I'm happy me, Kevin, and the Historical Society were able to deliver.
Awesome.
Very
Well,
good.
thank you, Jason.
Yeah,
All right,
excited to read it.
okay.
Thank you.
Do we have any board reports?
I got one.
Go ahead, Rick.
Again, tying into Saturday's event, I thought it was great. Thank you, Ralph, and all your guys and all staff who participated. In addition to that, though, there were a lot of things to hear while walking around, including people noticing our new signs that we have hanging on the post, talking about future events, and how they thought that was a great idea. I wanted to let you know that. I think also our parking signs are getting around up. People are noticing them. I think that's helping a lot, so I just wanted to let you guys know. Great feedback out there. I didn't hear anybody complaining about anything, which is amazing.
Yes. The night's not over, Rick.
Not tonight, Saturday. That night is over. That's right. Okay. It's,
You're right.
Thanks, Rick. All right, next up, any staff reports?
Yep, I have one real quick. I was approached Saturday at the event with somebody that had a very good question for me, and they asked, now that the state of Illinois has raised the juvenile age from 17 to 18, did that affect the curfew laws in Illinois? And it does not. So a 17-year-old is still, there is no curfew for them. So I'll kind of reiterate what the curfew laws are. So for persons less than 13 years of age, the curfew is 9 p.m. on any day of the week. For 13 to 17-year-olds, the curfew is between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. on Sunday through Thursday, but midnight to 6 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. 17-year-olds do not have a curfew still.
Okay. Thanks, Chief. That clarification, all right. Ralph, do you have anything for us?
Sure, I do. So we are pumping a lot of water in this drought period. We're well over 1.3 million gallons a day for the last 2.5 weeks. So I want to remind our residents that our water restrictions are in place. They've been in place since May 15th, and it'll go till October 1st. So the water restrictions are, if your house number is odd, ends with a 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, you can water on the odd days. If they're even, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, you can water on the even days. But the most confusion comes from there is no watering between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. regardless of your address. Whenever I stop and shut someone off, they have no clue about that part of the restriction. So this is a reminder: no watering between 10 and 6, no matter your address. So we have to make sure that we monitor our watering system right now.
Okay, thanks, Ralph.
Yep.
If I could just, mention too, and we just were notified, and it's good news. We have received our allocation of Lake Michigan water from the Department of Natural Resources, and we've talked about this a number of times, and we have a webpage now devoted to it. And over the last couple of years, we are not at this point migrating to Lake Michigan water. We've gone through the analysis, and the village's deep aquifer is healthy compared to other towns, and we've gone through the analysis where our urgency is not the same as other towns, Joliet, Romeoville, other towns, but we did want to go through the analysis, and we have gone through that, had numerous meetings, and but for the future, we did want to secure a Lake Michigan allocation just in case, and for interconnect ability, and we'll continue to look at the models for 2030. So we have secured our Lake Michigan allocation for year 2030, and we'll continue to look at the models. We'll look at it in the future. We've committed to that as a board. So that's important to us. So for the future, just in case we have that option. Part of that process is that we will have to look at conservation. And it's not only what Ralph mentioned, it's the strict guidelines in the summer, it's the shut-off program, it's the hours of operation, but it's the tiered rate structure. We have some information going out in our newsletter. We have not migrated completely to that new tiered rate structure. We will be doing that towards the end of the year. But just something to keep in mind. Start thinking about water conservation now, because it is a strict guideline of the Department of Natural Resources. So start thinking about it now. I know it's tough, Ralph. You know, people they just want to go out and water right now. And it is a guideline of having that allocation from the DNR, whether we're using Lake Michigan water or not, that we have to comply with those rules. And so we're going to be in the spirit of those rules, we're going to be tough on them, and we need to do it anyway, right, Ralph? Yeah. So more information will be coming out in the next couple months. I think we're going to do a water newsletter here. Darshana and Ralph are working on it. So be ready for that exciting newsletter that's coming out, Mayor.
Right.
But no, water
Wait.
conservation is very important, and we're going to be on board.
Yep.
So, thank
So what is it, 1.3 million gallons a day?
That's what we're pumping.
And we have like, what, 6,000 some odd household? I mean, that's a couple hundred gallons a day per household, so that's a lot, so. right.
Once we get the allocation, we can use any supplier, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
identified a couple.
Yeah. So bottom line is the one thing out of the reports, we'll have more, we'll share it, is that we use a lot of water per household in this town. We all like our lawns, but I think that's one of the things we need to do is, you know, and we'll address that in the newsletter as well, so stay tuned. All right, any other staff reports? All good? All right, any new or unfinished business? Okay, George, take it from here for our audience participation.
Yeah, it's that time of the agenda now where if anybody has any comments for the board under audience participation, please come on up to the podium and you can speak and just state your name and for the record, and you can go ahead and speak. Please try to keep your comments to 3 minutes. We won't be too tight on that timeline, but
Okay.
try your best.
My name's Mary Check, and I'm the villain of Oak Lane
No.
with the Gypsy Moths. And I just came here to thank the village and the Department of Agriculture for coming out and assessing the problem. And with the flyover, we think it's going to be under control. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Thanks for coming out.
Anybody else? Yeah, come on up.
Hi. Exactly the person that I want to talk to. Gallagher is working ground.
Try to speak in the microphone, just if you could. Yeah, no problem.
So Mr. Gallagher is busy working the ground, and we wonder, has the MWRD given him the permit to do what he intends to do, build 24, 26 houses?
Well, the homes I can't answer, but the pond, what we discussed, and I know I
Yes.
shared this information with Mr. Nagel,
Uh-huh.
that yes, the permit was granted, and the pond will be grass, just like you wanted it, but it will be a little bit deeper because it has to hold more water due to the retention.
Are you talking about the wetland?
No, I'm talking about the pond.
Okay. So,
We can talk tomorrow, if you want to, I can, talk tomorrow. If you have any other questions, but I know I told Mr. Nagel that, yeah, the permit was granted, and the pond will stay, but it will be a little bit deeper, because it has to hold more water.
okay. But the wetland is also involved,
Yeah, the wetland's staying the way it is,
okay?
the one on the east side of the road.
Ah, okay, so in other words, the detention pond
Yeah.
is going to be deeper so that Mr. Gallagher can store their water.
Yes, so we can release into the wetland.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I still have my grass.
Yes.
Such a deal.
That was a win. That was a win for you. Good job, Mayor.
Yeah, that took a lot.
Marge, you drove a hard bargain, and
How you got
No,
that,
but-
how you got that done, I don't know. Good job.
We didn't get them to be able to do anything.
If you can help us out
Maybe
with other
she needs to
subdivisions.
get on board.
all right.
Anything else? No? All right, that's
Okay.
it for that section.
All right, next up, we are going into executive session to discuss under Chapter 5 ILCS of the Open Meetings Act, Personnel Employment 120/2C6. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by trustee McClafferty, seconded by trustee, I believe, Kittredge. Roll call, please.
Stapleton?
Yes.
Kittredge?
Yes.
Maher absent, McClafferty?
Yes.
Shaughnessy absent, Snagowski?
Yes.
Okay, motion approved. We will not have any decisions after executive session, so we will not be making any decisions there. So want to thank everyone for coming out this evening and wish everyone a great week. And again, happy 150th birthday to all of Lamont. So thanks again. Have a great week.